Amidst the EU versus NI money wars, some great stories are lost. The DMP team is searching through the archives for incredible, unknown stories.
On the first Unknown Stories, we are gonna tell the story of Lutz Pfannenstiel, the Forrest Gump of football. Lutz is a former German goalkeeper who was very promising during his youth days, even playing for the German under-17 team. He was 187 meters tall, or 6'2" for the Kekona friends. He got his first big opportunity to play professional football when he was only 18 years old. German team Bayern Munich wanted to sign Lutz, which sounds like every kid's dream. But not for Lutz. Even being so young, he didn't want to be a reserve player the entire season. He continued playing for Gauteng, but his agent noticed him being depressed in the weeks following. So he decided to make a quite unusual proposal. If you really want to be a professional player, successful, and play in a crowded stadium with 30 to 40,000 people, I have just the place. Malaysia. Lutz didn't think twice. He packed his bags, and so his story began. Playing 6 months of good football in Malaysia, he got a spot on Wimbledon, a club that played in the Premier League at the time, the top division in England. Wimbledon had one of the lowest wages on the league, but it was quite a decent team, known today as the Crazy Gang. Partly because of their on-pitch performances, they never gave up no matter how hard the game was. And the other part? Well, you might know this guy, Vinnie Jones.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Famous for some movies like X-Men, Euro Trip.
Hey lads! That wanker's got a front football shirt on! Let's give this Nancy a fucking good kicking! Come on lads! It's going off! Yeah!
60 seconds.
If his unpleasant wounding has in some way enlightened the rest of you as to the grim finish below the glossy veneer of criminal life and inspired you to change your ways, then his injuries carry with it an inherent nobility and a supreme glory. We should all be so fortunate. You say Paul Toby.
And the biggest of them all, Garfield too. He was quite the bloke on the pitch. For some specific reasons, people didn't like to play against him. But Lutz was quite excited to play for them. Before making his first appearance, he was walking through the park with his teammates. Suddenly Vinny whistled, and the teammates yanked all of Lutz's clothes and ditched him alone, in a park, 5 kilometers away from the training grounds. He had to run the entire way back naked, but when he got back, all of his clothes were folded on the bench just waiting for him so he could start training. Lutz realized he was addicted to moving clubs. He realized he loved moving to new countries, getting to know new cultures and trying out new food. He went from Albania, where he was gifted goats when he played well, to Kekona land, where people went to stadiums just to do picnics. But if you think Lutz is a good man, you are dead wrong. When he was in Singapore, his evil side flourished, and people took notice, and he went to jail for 106 days. What did he got arrested for? You must be asking. So here is the footage of the court on the day he got arrested.
Lutz Pfannenstiel, you are now under arrest for the crime of match fixing, and I must say, the evidence against you are pretty strong. So I'm sending you to the worst prison in the country.
Being in jail with rapists and murderers, Lutz described this phase as the death of his soul. After he got released, he needed a fresh start, so he went back to England, to a small team called Bradford. It was Boxing Day, a cozy Christmas day. Normally stories have a happy ending, but this is not a normal story. As Lutz described, Singapore is where his soul died, but England is where his body died. On a Christmas, 30 minutes into the game, in a hard challenge with the opposing striker, Lutz had a cardiac respiratory arrest and was declared dead on the pitch. But a miracle saved him. Some would call it a kiss of life. He woke up 3 hours later like nothing happened in the hospital, and his adventure continued. He then realized he could achieve something no other player in the world had ever achieved. He was only one federation short, out of 6, to play in all continental associations, and what better country to do that than Brazil? He played at Hereby, a team in the south region of Brazil, and there he felt like he was back home, since the city was like a little Germany, a small city of just 17,000 inhabitants. The first game he played there had a bigger attendance than the city population. Tired from all the attention he was getting from his achievement, he decided to go on one last adventure in Namibia, as a coach/player for the Ramblers. Now retired, off the pitch he still works with football, but after a crazy life, he decided to slow down and relax back in his homeland, Germany. In total he played for 25 teams, in 13 different countries. And still to this day, the only player to play in all 6 recognized continental associations. And that's the story of Lutz Pfannenstiel, the Forrest Gump of football.